Somebody got the fucking crate. Bitch, I'm gonna beat you to this boat. Fuck you. You beat me to the crate. Get in. What is up, you sexy mofos? DP here, and welcome back to episode 4 of the gun guide. We're gonna get into all the buttery smooth ARs. Oh, it's gonna get buttery. So let's get started with the first gun of choice. The SCAR L, aka the Special Operations Forces Combat Assault Rifle. And if you're wondering what the L stands for, it stands for light. Now the SCAR is chambered in the most commonly found ammunition in the game, the 5.56. The base damage on this gun is about 37. The zeroing distance is anything between 100 meters all the way up to 500 meters. This gun has 2 firing modes, single and fully auto, and holds a 30 round magazine. Now if you're able to put an extended magazine, it can go all the way up to 40 rounds. This actually used to be the most commonly found gun in the game. However, that's been changed since the last patch. I think you can find a SCAR L just as much as you could find an M4 or an AKM now. It's been balanced in the world. If you're new to Battlegrounds, I would strongly recommend that you start with this AR. It's a starting level AR only because the bullet grouping is super tight. What I mean by that is that the gun is extremely stable and has little to no recoil in CQC situations. I'm talking about any and all targets under 100 meters.
They're all coming out.
Oh, I'm down.
I got one more.
He's going to res the dude you just down.
Yeah, I got him.
Yes!
Of course, as your targets get further and further apart, you'd have to take more time in between your shots. But as far as close quarters combat situations go, this is a spray and pray kind of gun. Just watch some of your favorite streamers and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now the gun does do fairly well, in my opinion, in mid to long range battles. Of course, it's going to take you a little bit longer to get back onto your target. It's certainly not a sniper, so it's not going to have that kind of firing power, but you're going to find that it's easy to get 3 to 4 shots onto your target really quickly without having to worry about the recoil or the aftermath of them actually finding you. Got him. The gun takes a lower rail attachment, a muzzle attachment, a magazine attachment, and of course the upper rail, aka the scope attachments. You can fit any and all scopes on this gun, and it does look freakishly funny with a ×15 on it. Alright, let's go ahead and rate the gun. Now it is pretty average when it comes to the damage and range. However, the stability and rate of fire are where this gun takes off. The ammo capacity, again, pretty average. Attachments, 8, because it has 4 slots. That gives it a total of 40 points, which gives the gun an average rating of 3.32 stars out of 5. I know a lot of you have been waiting for the review on the M4, so here we go. I would say that this is by far the most commonly used gun in the game. If you make it to Final Circle, you'll definitely face a few opponents with this one. One of the reasons why it's such a crowd favorite is because not only does it have 5 full attachments, but it's very stable in all of your CQC, mid to long, and even long range situations. Let's just call it the jack of all trades. Now it does use the same 5.56 ammunition that the SCAR uses, so the damage, the base damage is still the same. The zero distance on this gun is 100 to 600 meters. The magazine size with an extended mag is all the way up to 40 rounds. Now the reload time on this is about 2.1 seconds, but you can bring it down to about 1.9 seconds with a quick draw extended mag. This gun takes all 5 attachment slots. It takes a muzzle slot, a lower rail slot, an upper rail slot, aka the scopes, a magazine slot, and last but not least, also a slot for the buttstocks. Now it does take the same buttstock that you could use on a Vector. It has 2 fire modes, single and fully auto, and given the fact that if you can get all those attachments onto that gun, it is an absolute beast in full burst.
Nice! Explosions!
And speaking of burst, there's been a lot of debate about what the lower rail attachments can do to a gun that's in full burst mode. As far as the M4 is concerned, I've found that the vertical grip on it will actually help me improve or control the recoil better so that I can get a better grouping of bullets. Now, I never used to do that in the past. I used to use the angle grip. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'll just let the developers do the talking on this one. Here's what they have to say about the vertical grip and the angle foregrip.
Difference between vertical foregrip and angle foregrip. You know? Yeah, right now, this is still subject to change, but right now the vertical foregrip reduces the horizontal recoil by a large amount, and angle foregrip reduces both by a small amount.
I think the key words there that I took away from that was subject to change and as of right now. So maybe there's been a patch and some things have already been implemented into the game as far as the vertical or the angle foregrip are concerned. I find the vertical definitely keeps it a little bit more horizontally stable for me while I'm duking it out in a full burst mode situation. Kind of hope this helps a bit, guys, but if you want me to make another detailed video on the actual attachments themselves, I'll be more than happy to do that. I'll probably take it into the shooting range and take all the guns there and do the tests for you and probably make a separate video. But I kind of hope that this helps generalize for anybody that's coming into the game that's new. I'm sorry I got a little bit off topic here, but let's go ahead and rate the gun. Now the base damage is the same across the board, so I gave it a 5. Range is the same as a SCAR, a 6. Stability 8. The only thing that's different is the rate of fire. I had to give it 1 more point for the rate of fire, and 2 more for the attachment because all 5 slots, 10 out of 10, which gives it a total of 43 points and an average rating of 3.32 stars out of 5. Next, let's talk about one of my favorite guns in the game. Not the most favorite, but one of my favorites, the M16. Now, one thing I will say about this gun is that there are definitely a lot of positives about it. But then there's also the negatives. It's kind of like you got to take the good and the bad and the ugly with this gun. The base damage on this gun is the same as the SCAR or an M4. It's 37. It uses the same ammunition as well, the 5.56. It has a reload time of 2.2 seconds, but if you can get an extended quick draw on it, you can get it down to about 1.8 seconds. Let's talk about the positives of this gun first. It has the best effective firing range out of all the non-crate ARs. This gun is extremely effective in mid to long range battles. I'm talking about 250 meters plus. It is super accurate, even with just a hollow sight.
Nice, I got it. I got
He's
the kill.
dead. Okay, cool.
Let's go.
Let's boogie, my man.
I'm telling you,
Oh,
man,
shit.
M16, bro. Fucking long dick.
Secondly, it's the only AR in the game at the moment that has burst fire. Yes, it has 2 firing modes, single and burst. That's it. There is no fully automatic. And I understand why people that are just coming into the game are afraid of this gun. I understand that it doesn't have a fully automatic function, but in the interim, the burst fire is an absolute face melter in CQC situations. It is literally no aim required, but on the downside, it has terrible stability, and also you can only put 3 attachments at the moment on the gun. It has a muzzle attachment, a magazine attachment, and an upper rail attachment, and that's it. It doesn't have a lower rail to actually stabilize any of that recoil, and that's kind of where the gun falls short. I feel like between CQC and mid-range battles, you tend to have to recorrect your aim a lot. All right, we've seen the positives, we've seen the negatives. Let's go ahead and rate the gun. So the damage hasn't changed across the board, but the longer barrel does give it a little bit more range, which is about 7. The stability is terrible on this gun. I gave it a 6. And of course, the rate of fire is super fast, so a 10. Ammo capacity is the same, and attachments only 6, which gives it a total of 39 points and an average rating of 3.25 stars out of 5. Finally, we get to the 7.62 category and the AKM. For the comrades in arms, this beautiful, beautiful sex machine. I think that this might be the most underused gun in the game. It's found commonly, thank God, all over the world, and it's not a crate weapon. It should be, but it's not. Now, I've always had an affinity to the Kalashnikov line of weapons, even back in the Arma days. It's definitely a thing of beauty to watch if put in the right hands. What I like about this gun is that it is extremely versatile. It has the stopping power in CQC. It has the full spray and pray mode in mid to long range fights. And even beyond long range, it could be a poor man's sniper. In other words, it's definitely a jack of all trades, but it's a king of none. So you kind of have to take the trade-off here. I'm also a big fan of the iron sights on this one. Long range targets don't even matter. You don't need a scope. The iron sights are accurate enough.
Got once.
He's not
Got him
going
again.
anywhere. He's dead. I knocked him out. Nice. You got his buddy. I got him.
Yeah, good job, buddy.
Amazing. Iron sights.
Good job, dude. Wow, you hit him with iron sights? Fucking nuggets.
AKM iron sights. They're actually pretty good.
200 meters. Comrade. No problem. Let's go. Now, the AKM is chambered in a 7.62 round and has an effective range of 60. It tops off just a little bit less than the M16, which has the effective range of about 62. The zeroing distance is from 100 meters all the way up to 500 meters. The magazine size, again, is between 30 with an extended mag. You can get it all the way up to 40. It has a reload time of 2.9 seconds, which is the normal reload time. But with a quick draw, you can get it all the way down to 2.25 seconds. Now, of course, this AR obviously has the longest reload time. But the trade-off here is that you get a little bit more firing power, of course, a lot less stability, and a little bit more range. It comes in 2 firing modes, single and fully automatic, and it has 3 attachment slots. The muzzle attachment slot, the magazine attachment slot, and of course the upper rail attachment slot. Given the gun's slow rate of fire and the not so good stability, you're gonna have some problems with this gun only in CQC situations. But if you can find your way through that, and if you can juggle the CQC situations with this gun, you'll have little to no problem in long-range fights with it. It's extremely accurate. Put an ACOG or a ×8 on it, and you've got yourself a makeshift sniper.
Die. Scum. I'm telling you guys, I'm not giving up my AK. Nothing beats AK sometimes. Mid-long or like mid-mid. You can't beat the fucking AK.
Now, I've had a lot of people ask me, what are my preferred attachments or choice of attachments on this gun? And I'll tell you, hands down, for the muzzle attachment, I will give up the damn suppressor and put a compensator on this gun. Of course, the quick draw extended mag. As far as the upper rail goes, my favorite scope on this gun is definitely...
2 times.
I mean... 2 times. I mean the real 2 times. Like the scope, sorry, not the blockbuster video game champion of the world. I digress, but... put a 2 times and a compensator on the AKM, and you'll be raising hell on the servers in no time. I think we've already spent way too much time on this gun, but let's go ahead and wrap it up and rate the gun. It does a bit more damage than all the other ARs, and the same range as an M16. Stability, not so good. Of course, the ammo capacity and the attachments does not change, which gives this gun a total score of 38 points and an average rating of 3.12 stars out of 5. Last but not least, let's talk about the GROZA.
I got GROZA, motherfucker.
Alright, who are we kidding here? It's the best AR in the game at the moment. Thank God it's a crate-only gun, because I would hate to see 5-6 people in final circle with this thing, because it is just a monstrosity. It's a laser beam. It's a plasma beam. It is a death machine. Super fast rate of fire, does more damage than the AKM. Let's just hope that this gun stays in the crate, because the best way to describe it at the moment is just 2 words, OP. So the base damage on this gun is 44. It's a bit more, like I said, than the AKM. The same ammunition, the 7.62 round. Its zeroing distance is anything from 100 meters all the way up to 400 meters. It has 2 firing modes, single and fully automatic, and it has a reload time of about 2.9 seconds, which you can bring down with a quick draw magazine to about 2.25 seconds. Now, this gun is a bit flaky when it comes to the attachments. I feel like they're a little bit limited, but hear me out on this. The muzzle attachment only takes a suppressor. You can put all 3 magazine attachments, and as far as the upper rail goes, you can only put 4 scopes all the way up to an ACOG, which is the most magnification you'll get on this gun. Now, other than that, the gun is an absolute shredder. In CQC situations, especially if you get the jump on your enemies,
Surprise, motherfucker.
they'll have little to no time to respond to this kind of power and rate of fire at the same time. The recoil on this gun is better than advertised, believe it or not. You can easily put 10 to 15 bullets onto your target really fast without having to worry about the gun swaying to the left or right. Now, of course, it's not that accurate in third person, but if you're aiming down sights, it's a completely different animal. With bullet speeds of about 715 meters per second, this is going to be your go-to weapon in any situation. CQC, mid, long, any and all situations, this gun can handle like a champ.
He's so juicy. He's so juicy.
The only downside to this gun is that you're going to have to risk it every single time at a crate for that sweet, sweet buttery biscuit. Let's go ahead and rate the gun now. It does a bit more damage than the AKM, so I gave it a 7.
A little bit more on the range and stability. The rate of fire is an absolute 9. With average ammo capacity and only 3 attachment slots, we end up with a total of 43 points, which gives this gun the highest rating out of all the ARs at 3.58 stars out of 5. It is the unalloyed, uncontested winner out of all the ARs that are present in the game. And if you're lucky enough to find it, you'll be shedding blood and eating poultry in no time. Well, that's it for the DP AR guide. I hope you guys found this fun and informative, and I really hope that this guide helps a lot of newcomers into the game get a better understanding of all the guns that are out there. Thanks guys so much for all your love and support. To all of you out there that share my videos, like my videos, I can't thank you guys enough. Really, it would mean the world if we could get this video. Is it even possible to get it up to 500 likes? Thank you all so much for staying till the end. And for all of you that stayed till the end, Lulu has a special surprise for you.